All right. Good morning, good day, good afternoon for all participants here from around the world in this room Zoom or those who watch through YouTube channel UGM Campus Jakarta. Greetings from me, Kailani, as your MC for this event. On this great occasion, we welcome all of you to enter and joining international webinar using brand as a strength in university and industry research collaboration. This event is conducted by UGM Campus Jakarta as part of commemorating 74th Dies Natalis Universitas Gadjah Mada, which carries the theme Digital Transformation, Harmonization of Innovation and Humanity. Also, I would like to say hello to all participants here who follow this activity from Indonesia and foreign countries such as Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Ghana, India, Cambodia, Egypt, Myanmar, Nepal, Nigeria, Pakistan, France, the Philippines, Sudan, Tanzania, Turkey, and Yemen. All right. Before we go further to the main event, I would like to read the rundown for this event. After opening, we goes to here and here's the great Indonesian anthem and Gadjah Mada hymn afterward. Goes to the next welcoming remark from Mrs. Wirasti Widiatmanti, and then opening webinar session with Mr. Moderator. After that goes to the presentation from the first speaker, and then second presentation from the second speaker, and then Q&A. After that, door prize announcements, and then closing. Okay. Now, for all participants, please sit tight because we are gonna listen to the national anthem of Indonesia and the Gadjah Mada hymn afterwards.
Di dalam
Okay, thank you, all participants. Now, I would like to ask you to open your cam, turn on your camera, and give your best smile because we're gonna take picture from all of us from slides 1, 2, until the end. Okay, please open your cam. Okay, we're gonna take picture from the slide, the first slide. Move forward to second slide. Third slide. Okay, and so on. Okay. Thank you so much, Anna. Ladies and gentlemen, next, we invite Mrs. Wirastuti Widiatmanti, PhD, as Head of Bureau for Strategic Management, Universitas Gadjah Mada, to give welcoming remarks. Please welcome Mrs. Wirastuti Widiatmanti, PhD.
Thank you, Mr. Kailani. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greeting of virtue. Distinguished guest speaker, guest, and all participants, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. It gives me an honor and great pleasure to welcome you all to this morning to the international webinar with the theme Using Brand as the Strength in University and Industry Research Collaboration organized by Universitas Gadjah Mada, Jakarta campus. As mentioned on the background and the aims of international webinar, branding is a power tool and has evolved beyond its traditional marketing and commercial application. And today, dynamic global landscape, branding plays a pivotal role in shaping collaboration between the research community and also industry. So, based on that, the issues and dynamic that have been happening in our world of industrial community and also research and university, this international webinar aims to explore the multifaceted dimension of branding and its impact on fostering strong partnership between these two sectors. This synergy between research and industry can be drive innovation, economic growth, and societal progress. So, using and base of the problem and also the issue that being so much being discussed in the national and international world, UGM, in terms of celebrating its 74th anniversary, try to bring together this topic to community, and also we also already invite the great speaker in the seminar, so everyone and participant in this seminar able to gain the knowledge and also share their ability and also enhance their skill in understanding the brand strength in community and industry. I'm personally impressed with the response of the participant who registered to this webinar. My understanding that this webinar is attended by total, well, the registered participant is 1,004. Even though I saw it's still about 250, but I believe it's being increased along with the webinar. And I appreciate for the participant, the national participant, especially for 70 countries, as mentioned by the MC. There are participants from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, Ghana, India, Cambodia, Egypt, Myanmar, Nepal, Nigeria, Pakistan, France, Philippines, Sudan, Tanzania, Turkey, and Yemen. So on behalf of University of Gadjah Mada, we express our most sincere appreciation for all the national and international participants. And especially, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the speaker, Professor Berta Mayasova, PhD, and also Professor Amalia Maulana, PhD, and also the moderator, Reza Mahdi, who will chair this session. And also, I would like to express my appreciation to the organizer team from Jakarta campus. I believe that all of the team, including also the speaker and moderator, have been working really hard since the beginning and the preparation and also the planning of the webinar. Finally, this is the opportunity time to me to again welcome you all to this international webinar, and I wish you all the fruitful hour of knowledge harvesting webinar. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the George's remark, which provides additional insight for us. Okay, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, before we enter the main event, I would like to invite Mr. Reza Mahdi. Please welcome Mr. Reza Mahdi. He will guide the session as our moderator. Some information of Mr. Reza Mahdi. He is a postgraduate student at Universitas Gadjah Mada, and he also have some publication in Library and Information Management 2021. Okay, without further ado, please welcome Mr. Reza Mahdi.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kailani, for the time. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this great seminar with great speakers and, of course, great participants from around the world. Wow, thank you for being here with us. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Reza Mahdi. Now I am a final year of postgraduate student of Library and Information Management from Universitas Gadjah Mada. I'm happy to be your moderator today. About the topic, as we knew, collaboration is the one of important thing in this era because the rapid development of technology and science. Research scope, collaboration can be done between university and industry. Yes, so we can get a wider perspective, both from academics and practitioners. But before we establish collaboration, institutional branding is one thing that is important. Why? Okay, we can say our university and industry as a brand, right? And branding plays an important role in shaping collaboration between the research community. So in here, we need to make sure that they knew our uniqueness, because branding is about creating differentiation with the others. When they knew about our uniqueness, such our research specialty, our collaboration will become easier. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will get more knowledge from our two wonderful speakers that will talk about this amazing topic. The first is Professor Berta Mayasova. Hello, Professor. How are you today, Professor Berta?
Hello, Pak Reza. I'm very great. Thank you very
Wow.
much.
Wow, thank you so much, Prof. Berta. Now you're in Yogyakarta, right?
Yeah, I'm in Yogyakarta.
Yes. Keep healthy and happy, yeah, Professor.
Thank
We
you.
would like
Thank
to
you.
hear your perspective. And then the second speaker is Professor Amalia. Hello, Professor Amalia. How are you today?
Very well, thank you, Reza. How about you?
Yeah, very well today. Yeah. I have enough breakfast for today and very healthy and happy, of course, because I want to see you all in here. Okay. How's Jakarta, Professor Amalia?
I think we are still waiting for the rain. It's not yet
Yes.
coming.
Yes, Yogyakarta, same.
Same here.
Same here.
Same here.
Yes.
Looking forward to share with you all.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Amalia. Okay, so we move on to the first speaker, yeah, Professor Berta Mayasova. Okay, before that, I'm going to introduce to you all about Professor Berta. Would you please, okay. Okay, wait. Okay, so Professor Berta Mayasova, right now she is a professor of industrial engineering program from Universitas Gadjah Mada and also a manager of educational services, academic development, and postgraduate student. As you can see, she also got several awards. The Best Paper Award in BOK Supply Chain Management from the National Seminar of Industrial Technique. Wow, that's amazing. And nomination as a 5,000 Indonesian Best Scientist. Wow, wow, wow. It's perfect, right? And then the WIIA award from the IEOM Society from her research, actually. So in here, we're going to hear her perspective about Professor Berta perspective about University Research Industry Partnership, the significance and lesson learned. Okay, Prof. Berta, you would like to have 60 minutes, but allow us to remind you 5 minutes before time's over. The time is yours, Professor Berta. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Pak Reza. It's nice to meet you. Very good morning, good afternoon, and also good evening to everyone from the whole part of the world. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope that you are all in a good health. So before I started with for my sharing, I would like to address the honorable representative from UGM Kampus Jakarta, Ibu Wirastuti Widiatmanti, PhD, and also the honorable speaker, Professor Amalia Maulana, and also all of you, the honorable participants in industrial webinars. So allow me to, can you hear me fine? First, I would like to check my voice first.
Clear and crystal clear means.
Okay, thank you very much. So can you also see my slide?
Oh, wait. Okay.
Yes.
We can see
Okay,
your
thank
slide,
you.
Professor.
Is it there already?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So allow me to introduce myself. So my name is Berta Maya Sopa. Currently, I'm a manager of academic development and partnerships in the Faculty of Engineering Universitas Gadjah Mada. At the same time, I'm also a vice chair of Industrial Engineering and Operation Management in the Indonesia chapter and vice chair for Indonesian Supply Chain Institute. So of course, it's an honorable for me to share with you, to be here with you, to be able to share my experience. Actually, I'm very impressed, and I would like to convey my deepest gratitude to all of you from all over the world for participating in these webinars. I would like to share within the next maybe 50 or maybe 50 minutes regarding the university research and industry partnerships, addressing the significance and also some lesson learned based on my experience. So I planned this the talks in the next 50 minutes. I would like to divide into the 4 divisions. The first, we would like to address some kind of discussion on why we need to do some collaboration, particularly between the university and industry. And then we just summarize to understand what the barriers and also the enablers. And then I would like to share my personal experience since the last 10 years, I think. And then based on that, I just want to like to point out some lesson learned that maybe it might be useful for you when you are going to start or to establish the collaborations, and also the most important things that you need to maintain the collaborations. So yeah, we can do the first steps. When I do this, when I prepare for this presentation, I'm just curious, like, I think the last few years back, we understand that our world is changing very much within the very tight time, and a lot of things that we need to adapt. So it seems that the problem that we are experiencing now, it's getting more and more complex. So some people say that we cannot do or we cannot solve our problem by ourselves. We need to collaborate to get the optimum result, because people has its own competence, and if we can work together, then we can take the advantages or the core competencies between all the partners to solve the problems together. So that's the idea. Based on that, I was curious, like, how is the trend for the collaboration between the university and industry research? So based on that, I just try to find in doing some homework, doing some literature review, which is based on the experience that reported in the literature. We got this, and I got this. I got it from Rossini et al. It just published last year, and we got this pattern. It means that a lot through the times, the industry and the university collaboration seems to be dramatically increased. But of course, there are some down peaks that we also observed in 2018 and 2019, but it again going up again. And it seems if we look at the overall trends, that the collaboration between university and industries seems to be dramatically increased. So that's why it's, I mean, if we compare between the years before 2000s, it seems like, okay, it's not so common, but now it seems like this is our new norms, that when we do something, we need to collaborate with others because of the complexity of the problems. So, and also I try to extract it, the evidence from the empirical evidence that extracted from the empirical literatures. It seems that by doing the collaborations, we can ensure, or we can increase our competitiveness, because we can work with our own competence and we can work with others to build new competence to solve the problems. So here we are able to develop new products, new process, and maybe new services, as we know that our world is changing a lot within the within a very short time frame. So it means that we need to innovate at the continuous pace. So that's why the requirement for develop new products, new processes, or new services is required now. So we cannot do it by ourselves. And based on that, so the advantages of this collaboration can also boost the local economy and facilitate the transfer of the knowledge, the expertise, and also the technology. And at the end, eventually, it could increase our quality of life and also creates a new research of opportunity. So that's the evidence that has been gained by the collaboration based on the literature review. So, but in our, if we look at more, get into the collaboration itself, if we're talking about, of course, the collaboration is not only between the university and industry, but also the collaboration between university, industry, and also government, or could be with the communities. But here, I would like to focus on the university and industry as our themes for our webinars. So because of the university and industries has a different, or what we call different competencies, where universities usually create knowledge. And on the other hand, industries can provide capital and resource. And the government, if we may know that there are some models, what we call it the triple helix models, that combine or collaborate between the university, industry, and government. So they have a different rules, and how we can get the best of it to work together to solve the problems. So as I mentioned, that the government can facilitate the activities of the collaboration by developing the policy, the initiative to encourage the collaboration, such as providing the fundings for the joint research projects, or the tax incentive could also build the hubs for the innovation and the technology parts. So these collaborations, I think, has been evidence that this is the key driver for innovation. And at the end, it could promote the economic development, at least in the regional level. So, of course, the collaboration could be in a different modes. If we talk about the university and industry, the simplest way to collaborate, creating or exchanging the knowledge is by doing a team teachings, or could be a student exchange, or like a joint supervision, the masters or PhD students, and could also join publications, or if we're going to a bit more intense collaboration, we could also do some joint research together with the industry. I will talk about these examples later. It's just to give you some brief overview that when we collaborate or when we starting to collaborate, usually it starts from a very simple one. But in some cases, of course, we could jump into the more intense activities if both party has the similar common goals. But usually when we try to initiate the collaboration at the first time, and the new partners, usually we start with very simple activities. The idea is that we can get to know each other, we understand the job, the advantages or disadvantages or the benefits and the drawbacks of the collaborations. When we establish with the simplest one, we can increase or we can increase the intensity of the activities and also the programs. Okay, that's all for the first step, that to introduce why the collaborations is significant. And it seems now that the collaboration seems to be our new norms. So then if we understand that the collaborations is our new norms and also like I would say like a requirement, but they do some barriers and enablers for collaborations. Hence, these sections, again, I drew from the literature that collects the empirical evidence from the practical perspectives of the recorded collaborations. So the barriers for collaboration could be in different aspects. For example, because it's very understandable that when you work with people with come from different backgrounds and also different competence, they sometimes also has a different knowledge. So you need to really address or to really understand what is the difference and also what makes you has the same or similar the same shares. So based on the literature review, we identified the cultural barriers could be differences in the objective. Some people may have a different goal, or some institution could also different goals. For example, in university, usually we focus on creating knowledge, but industries is focusing on to solve the practical problems. And sometimes there are also not. This is the many times that there are also some gaps when it comes to interactions and also the investment. So some people in university likes to work alone, but in industry they cannot work alone. They have to be usually they work in teams, and also like some different perceptions on the intellectual properties and different interests, and sometimes they also do have the conflicts where the university requires the publications, but on the other hand, the industry would like to keep the intellectual, for example, the intellectual properties not to be published in publics because it's only for the companies. So because of this, so you need to really understand what are the conflicting objectives between the partners. Hence, we try to find the common goals so that we can work together. So that's the idea. Of course, the barriers is not only for based on the cultural, but also barriers in the institutional. For example, like there's a lack of planning and infrastructures, or there's no appropriate policies to integrate the knowledge activities. Like in university, people usually do some publication, but not in the industry. They are more like doing a problem solving sometimes without recording it. So that's they are not required to do that, but in university we do have things like that. And also, particularly in developing economies, such as in Indonesia, of course, is a bit challenging to find the innovative companies where, I mean, it's of course, it's also a different cultures that the interactions between the university and the institutions or industry has been built in most of the developed countries, but not yet in the developing countries. So that's one of our challenges, of course. And also there are other barriers regarding the fundings. Usually we do have limited fundings, the bureaucracy, long bureaucracy, and also some when we do have fundings, there are different schemes. So where maybe the government has some requirements and universities has some other requirement, and sometimes these requirements can hinder the research to do the collaborations. And other things that sometimes we find difficulties of finding the partners even within the university is because there's no information that can be spread out to others so that researchers can understand. So that's why the branding, as what we have with the theme for today, is very important, because it helps us to find the right partners, and also our potential partners can see what we can do, or can see the records, which one, or like to select the appropriate partners. Okay, now there's also some operational barriers. So it's regarding the difficulty in contacting the individuals, or could be like a lack of preparation for the company personals, or could be like a very high formality in conversation. Sometimes, particularly in industry, there are some, I would say, some norms, how the way to do some communications, which is not so that we cannot really do free during the meeting. And also the barriers can also relate to the quality of managerial leaderships, and also the lack of autonomy to work with the industries. So instead of the barriers, so there are some enablers has been identified by the literatures, where it could be internal. So in addition to avoid or to minimize the barriers, we need to facilitate or to encourage the enablers so that the collaboration can be facilitated. So the first step in the internal side, we can really, the first enablers that the collaborations might happen while the partners can understand the value of the projects. And also they have the capacity of doing it. But I think the most important things, once the partners, all partners, understand the value of the projects, they do also have the common goals, because that's the basic motivation why people can work together. And based on that, they have a capacity that's specific allocated for doing the collaborations. And then afterwards, they can start to work on the programs, work on the program within the scheduled program with milestones, and they do also planning how to monitor the activities of the research of the collaborations. And then the other enablers is that during the implementations, they have to disseminate the knowledge among the partners and the results, because hence it's really facilitate the communications and also building trust. That's very important when you do the collaboration with the different parties. And the informal management, it also could help. So in collaboration, usually it starts with the informal communications. Once we understand each other, we can go further to the formal management. But it's usually start with the informal management. And yeah, I think for the technology-based relationships, it's because they do have the same capacity that they can be shared, and also they also have the similar understanding how to regarding the intellectual property and also a technology transfer policies. From the external sides, the enablers for the collaboration could also by the construction of the social relationship, by building the trust and also social connectors. And that's based on the from the literature, and it could also the incentive can work to start for the collaborations. Like, for example, our government currently provide some incentive to the KDREKA that helps the industry and university works together. That's one of the examples. And also, as I mentioned earlier, that the collaboration usually start with a very simple one, like we invite the industrial speakers comes to university to share their experience, and then we can afterwards we can intensify for the joint projects. And maybe if that's that's successful, then we can increase to more doing more activities for the collaborations. So and also the collaboration could also started with because of different needs between the partners, that they want to work together to solve the similar problem. That also can also work. So here they understand each other. So they develop the mutual understanding, and then at the end they can build trust. So, but the facts that as we understand that, okay, that collaboration sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, because once we understand our partners, when we have the common goals, sometimes the capacity is not it's challenging. So then we need to solve how the best way to do it. So sometimes the collaboration is not as smooth as it is, but sometimes it does. So if we look at into the emerging industries, the things that one of the disadvantage for establishing the collaboration, that we are now lack of fully developed knowledge networks. It's because maybe we don't have a database for the researchers that with a different competence, so that other researchers or potential researchers cannot know to whom I should work with this research. Or, for example, if I give you an examples, I want to develop the battery for the electric vehicle, for example. So, and I have already finding from the industries, but I don't know to whom I should collaborate with, because I don't know the researchers that has been working this. So that's very important, how to build the brand of the researchers, so that other potential collaborators can know you and then start to work with you. That's the first, the facts. And the second one, that we understand that currently we do have still limited public funding for the research project. So that makes the collaboration processes not easy. If we compare with other developing countries, or maybe with our neighborhood countries, so our research funding is not, I would say that it's not sufficient. But yeah, but anyway, we try to find the best way how to to solve this kind of problem. But for now, I think the Kadereka program, it's very helpful to start with for collaboration. So that's the second part, that we understand that there are some barriers and also enablers. So what we need to do is try to minimize the barriers while we encourage or facilitate the enablers. Now, this is I would like to share my experience based on I have done some research in the last 10 years. So I have done 10 research. Yeah, actually, I aim that at least in 1 year, I have minimum of 1 collaborative research. But as you may see in the slides earlier, I didn't do so much collaborative research. It's just 10 years, but maybe if I provide you with the research 20 years back, maybe it's not as many the collaborative research. But indeed, after the 2013, my research it's a collaborative research projects, because I think it is supported by the figure that I have shown you earlier, that the needs for the collaborative research project is now very high. So we cannot do our research by yourself. You need to collaborate with others. So then you see that 8 out of 10 is a collaborative, and my partners could be from the industries. For example, I work a lot with the Toyota Manufacturing Indonesia, and also I work also with the Center of Studies. It's from Pusat UGM, and also work with other institutions abroad, such as the Gothenburg University or the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And I also work with the government's ministry, I mean, in the region, provincial government, such as the Department of Transportation and also Regional Disaster Management Agency. But now I would like to work more with the Indonesian university partners, because I'm now thinking that this is our, for example, because I'm from UGM, that we do have some responsibility to help our colleagues from outside UGM to develop together. So that's why in the last research project, my partners is not from the Oxford University, because I have done a lot with from Oxford University, but I asked the Indonesian university, could be the small one, that can work together, so that I can also knowledge transfer or competence transfer to the university in Indonesia, so that they can also increase the quality of the research, and eventually not only for the research, but also for the education as well. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this is based on my personal experience. Of course, there are many ways that the collaboration could start. Could be from just drinking tea together and just have a chit chat, and then okay, then we can work. So that's also possible. That or could be like we meet the people in the conference, and then we start talking, discussing our research interests, and then okay, then it can start the collaboration. And also like we can also, if we see that some people has the profiles, we can see their profile or the research profile, and we would like to only just ask the question about their publications. And if those people interested to work together, it also could work. So there are actually many ways of studying the collaboration. So that's why I emphasize that the research networks is very important. So because using the research network, we can understand how people work together, and also we can share our interests. So then if we find some common interest, then it can start with discussion and intensify with the activities. On the other hand, there are other ways that in addition to the networks, some people could also see from our publication records. So that's why it's very important to disseminate our research results and to frame ourselves which competence we are in. So that's how we create the branding. That's, I think, our next speaker will talk about the branding. I'm not the expert of branding, but I see that the branding is very important to help me to start with the collaborations, because the brandings for me means that we frame ourselves, we frame our competence so that people can understand if they want to work with, for example, export in the supply chain engineering. So they can find, oh, there's some people in UGM can work with, or maybe like if I need to work with someone can do some modeling and simulation for compute system. So okay, I know there's a researcher that work in that university that's focusing that. So that's our identity. So it's very important to brand ourselves, to represent our competence, so that people can know and can start to communicate with us. So that's my experience. So I'm not the millennials generations. So as you see here, that our publication records is recorded in Scopus, Google Scholar, in Web Science. And I think millennials can do more than this, because they have like social medias that really helps them to disseminate the information to others, and so that others can know who you are, for example. So what is your publication records? So here just speak some that's my historical publication. So as you can see, it alerts for me that okay, it seems like the curve is getting stagnant. So I need to really to work on it. So even though that all the countries has as you see the map on the right side, that is the partners that I work with, and also the citations, the paper that the countries of the paper who which citate my paper. So we know that our papers is recognized by other researchers around the world. So that gives us the opportunity to understand other researchers that has the same interest. So here's another things you can see as it's just a continuation from here. We can see the branding of ourselves. Like okay, for me, I say that because I've been working on the supply chain engineering and also with the complex system modeling and simulation with the energy policy and industrial ecology. So I put that as my brand. So that's my competence. That's my research interest. So if you want to work together with me in this area, it's very welcome for me. And that's represented in the publication record, so that people understand, oh, how long have you been work with the complex system modeling? Oh, you have been work like a 10 or 15 years. So okay, yeah, so you have more experience there. So it's very really helps others to understand you better. So the next I would like to share my two experiences when I collaborate with to establish the collaboration. So the first is this is when I do decision support, develop the decision support system for the logistics. This is the research project funded by the Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education through the MP3AE schemes. So it's a very competitive. It's in the national level. So this when we start this collaboration research, actually I met with people from provincial department during the conference. So the first time that we just met in the conference and we share our knowledge, and we found that, oh, you can do that, and we actually have a problem how to determine which location that can fit to build the terminal, because the Department of Transportation has already allocated some areas in Yogyakarta, and they already built the Jogja Inland Port. But once it's built, they were not industry partners want to use that port. So that's the problem. So it has been like 6 years. It didn't operate. So that's why when I met her, and then, okay, then if we can do some studies that can explain why that area is not feasible. So based on that, we understand that we need other experts that has some special competence. So I contact with the Center of Transportation and Logistics to help these teams to work together. So its partners has a different role, and we work together to contribute to solving the problem from our government, which is the Provincial Department of Transportation. And based on that, we would like to extend that, okay, this maybe our knowledge is not new one. So we would like to increase, or maybe we would like to update it with the new to knowledge or maybe tools. So that's why we just disseminate the result. And once we disseminate the results, there are other partners coming in the second year. It's from Gothenburg University. They said that, oh, I'm interested in your paper in this, and maybe we could help to give you some experience, because they also have similar problem in Sweden. So that's the idea for collaboration. The collaboration is not like a very fast process. Sometimes it's like our partners is come one by one. It's depending on the needs, but the idea that we should open for people that work together and put value on the projects. That's the idea. So this is the decision support system that we have been developed. So then we extend not only in Yogyakarta, and then we extend to the whole countries for Indonesia. And here within this decision support system, you can just interactively select the location, and then based on the graph on the right side, we can see the impacts of the logistic costs. So that's the idea. So here the logistician very assisted by this. When they are trying to planning the logistic plan, they can do some experiment in these systems. Then without doing doing experiments, you don't need to do in the real case. But we built this decision support system to mimic our real system, so that at least we know if we do some things, then what would be the impacts. That's the idea. And then we publish it in the journal, in the Maritime of Economic and Logistics. And yeah, alhamdulillah, luckily we got the award, the Editor's Choice Award at that time. So so it means that the collaborations not only try to solve the problems, but also it gives us new knowledge, because we learn from others how to do it. And then some people also recognize our works. That's the good things. And also, once we did the projects, is not and until we disseminate our results. So to increase the social impact, so we do some sharing sessions which are attended by representatives from academics, from businesses, and also the governments. And ISLI, the Institute of Supply Chain and Logistics, help us a lot. So this is how the community really helps us to disseminate our results so that our result can be also be beneficial to other parties, not only in the partners, but also outside the partners. So then the second research collaborations is a huge research. There are different universities that involved in this research and is funded by the UK GCRF for the 3 years. So the main principal is Lancaster University, and we as a co-investigator from Universitas Gadjah Mada and also Universitas Indonesia and University of Khartoum in Sudan. So once we joined this, simply I have been contacted with the research from Lancaster University. Simply they say that, oh, I found your profile in your website. It seems that your competence fits to our requirement as a partners to do this project. And then would you okay if we try to make a proposal and then we do together and as a team? Then I would say yes, and then yeah, this project is successful to get the funding from the UK GCRF. So this the partners is not only for the university. The university is as investigators, but we do have partners because it's regarding the how we build the how to prepare for the natural disasters, but using the operation research, so using the quantitative research. So we work closely with the BNPB and also with BPBD and also with some NGO in Indonesia and also in Sudan. So that's the idea that in Indonesia, we focus on the floods disaster and we collect data and etc. to try to do to build a decision support system that help us to plan, to do some preparation, to plan in the flood case in Jakarta. So what we want to know is that we would like to understand the evacuation time and the total number of successful evacuees. That's what we do. So this is the decision support that we have developed, and this we develop with the new approaches. We call it the multi-method simulation, and that's the way we can learn. I mean, that's the benefits that we can work together with other people so that we can learn from each others. And what will be the new approach and how to do it so that we can build this in Indonesian context. So I'm not sure if I can, I can run this. So just to give you a brief demonstration of what we have developed. So this is the we built this method simulations, and basically we have a shelters in the green and the red one, and we also have populations, and based on the shelter we send the trucks to evacuate the people, but some people refuse to do the early evacuations. Sometimes they just say that, okay, I wait until the floods as high as my knee so that I would like to evacuate. Or some people say that I would not evacuate until the flood is as high as the house. So some people do that. So, but then we try to simulate because of different evacuation behavior. We try to simulate how the total evacuation if we do some to evacuate all the people. So this is the insight of the models. So here we have a boat, and also we have a trucks. So usually the evacuation is from the shelters going to the evacuations point, and then from the evacuation point going to home using boats, because it's not possible to use the trucks. So here we can see the result over time. We see the number of the residents that has been evacuated for each of the shelters. So we know how many people has been arrived at the shelters at the specific time. So that's the idea, so that we understand which shelters that has overcapacity, or which shelters that under capacity, or maybe there are the resident that's not yet being evacuated. Okay. So then, as usual, after we finish with the research, we are not that's not the end task. So we need to disseminate our results so that it increase the social impacts of our result, so that others can also learn from us, and maybe it's also creates two other potential collaboration for the next future collaborations. So we share in some events. So this is from academic governments and NGO and in the outsides, and also in Indonesia. So based on that, based on my experience, so based on, actually it's not just two experience, but it's almost my last 10 years. So what I learned, that first, when you start to collaborate, to establish the collaborations, branding is very important, because when people would like to collaborate with you, they really need to understand who you are. What would be your potential contributions that can be contributed to the potential projects? That's very important. So to inform that to your potential partners is also important, because it will help your potential partners to understand you. And the second, that we need to be open to various stakeholders, and we need to be understand that every stakeholders has its own objective, has its own goals, and sometimes and many times that goals are conflicting with our goals. So the idea is that we need to find the common goals, because without common goals, the collaboration would not happen. And then once we find the common goals, we need to really understand the norms and the culture, how they work, how can we fit into their cultures, or how can they fit into our norms. Of course, there's some process. Sometimes we need to, to be tolerate, like to understand the counterparts, and also I believe that the counterpart also try to understand, and by understanding and reconcile the differences between the partners, because it's not, I think we are of course different. So because of that difference, we need to find what the common goals and how we can work together. So then afterward, during the work, we need to build trust. Trust is very important for collaborations, because if the trust doesn't exist, I believe that the collaboration would not last longer. So and also the next, that the feasibility is very important. Transparency, or like sharing with others, is very crucial also, to attract for the new other opportunities for collaborations. Of course, it's not only about to start with collaboration. The most important also regarding how we maintain the collaborations. for me, that the first time we need to keep on to do the high quality research works. So means that ourselves needs to do our own homework to ensure that our research is high quality so that we build our reputation, we build our branding that helps people who trust us. And then as I mentioned before, that you need to share your work. You do a great work, but you don't share it. No one will know that you do the great work. That's the idea. So you need to share your work to various stakeholders, either it's communities, industries, government, or even your academic colleagues, even your peers within the same office. They also need to be shared because sometimes I understand that most of the academics like to work alone, so that sometimes they don't know what other researchers within the same office know what they do. So that's why we need to share. Maybe you can, in our groups, usually we have regular meetings that only just share what you do. And maybe our students can also work together, do the same projects or the thesis or whatever. Yeah, to do the student project. And also, it's also important that we are not aiming for the numbers. Numbers is not the most important things, but we need to appreciate the meanings. What will be, what is our missions of doing this research project? Of course, it's not only for the personal interest, but we need to look further than that. We do this project, it's not for our needs, but it's our hope that it can be impact higher to our society, to make our society better. And the last step, maintaining the network is very important. It can be start only just send the emails, send the greetings. Like once the research project is finished, usually people just forget the project. Please don't do so. You need to maintain your networks. Just send the greetings maybe during the holidays or maybe during the um to say season, so you can just say hi, or maybe birthday, you can just do that. Or you can also like invite them as a guest lecturer, or maybe you can also ask them to do the some to do team teaching with you. And maybe you can just also like how about we meet in the conference, and we to continue meet in the conference. It really helps uh, to keep your network inactive, because otherwise people will get forget. So that's, I think, my share to you. um, by doing the little things, you don't know, maybe it results in bigger things. So doing the collaborations is not, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. But the thing that is not only just establishing, but the most important things that you need to also maintain the collaborations. So that's all I have shared my experience. Thank you very much. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion. So I will over to our moderator, Pak Reza. Monggo.
Okay, Professor Berta. Wow, it's a very excellent perspective, right? So yeah, we can see the collaboration sometimes is smooth, sometimes it's not. Depends of its challenge actually. And then from an informal chit chat, maybe about in a cafe or in a library. Hey, you want to come to the cafe? We're going to talk about our research plan. Yeah, informal, right? But it can start a collaboration. And Professor Berta said that, yeah, branding is very important, right? So
Yes.
we're going to hear more. Yeah, Professor Berta, we're going to hear more about branding. Yeah, why is it important from the second speaker? Oh yes, actually, we already have a question, both from who write in the chat and also who raise the hand. But later, yeah, in the Q&A session, we will start answering your question. Thank you so much. Okay. So we're going to the next speaker, right? we will going to next speaker to share her perspectives about more about branding here. If Professor Berta share her thoughts about research, now Professor Amalia will share her perspective about branding. So she will talks about she will talk about role in co-branding in success, role of co-branding in successful university industry collaboration. Okay, before that, I will introduce you all to Professor Amalia. Yeah. So right now she is a professor of marketing at Bina Nusantara Business School, Binus University, and also the faculty member of Binus University, IPMI International Business School, and also after more than 15 years of experience working as a professional in branding, multinational companies, Unilever, Frisian Flag, that famous the famous product is a Frisian Flag, yeah. And then other company, and more than 20 years of experience as consultant and trainer in the field of branding and rebranding, corporate communication, consumer insight, and other contemporary marketing issues. And most important, she is also a founder and director of Ethnomar Consulting. Well, it's very good there. So we got the right person today to talk about branding, right? Professor Amalia. And then she writes a lot of books about branding. Maybe you can read it later, yeah, from Professor Amalia. So Professor Amalia, you would like to have Professor, see me? Okay. Professor Amalia, you would like to have 60 minutes to share your perspective. And please let's remind you when the time is almost end, in 5 minutes before the time ends. Thank you so much. Excuse me, Professor?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Professor. I thought I
Good morning
not hear
again.
you.
Thank you, Reza. And
Yes, you're welcome.
welcome to my presentation, all of you who are attending this webinar. And how about my voice? Do you have it clear?
Yes.
It's crystal clear, Professor.
Yeah, still clear. Yeah, still
Is it
clear.
clear? Okay. Okay,
Yes.
please remind me
Clear.
if I have a connection problem. Okay.
Okay, Professor.
Yeah. So, listening to Prof. Berta presentation, that is so impressive, Prof. Berta. So I also learned a lot from you, because university industry collaboration, I think you are the expert, Berta. And some of concern or challenges that you mentioned, it's very true. Yeah. Thank you, Bu Berta. Right. Extending the discussion or the sharing from Prof. Berta, the topic about today's session is role of co-branding in successful university industry collaboration. And if we see here, there is a word brand and also the collaboration. So I'm professor of marketing from Binus University, but at the same time, I'm also working as a branding consultant at Ethnomar Consulting. So here I'm talking about blending theory and practices, so then we can learn from perspective, theoretical, as well as the implementation. So as already introduced by Reza, so this is highlight about me. And here you can see that I also maintain social media. So then if you want to have further collaboration or connection. So please follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram. So I think that's what we can do further after this session. Besides the industrial or commercial expertise, I also have a series of academic research, especially in university branding. And these are some of my research publications. So whenever anyone wants to join research or collaboration within the university branding or alumni management, so that I would like to invite you to discuss further. Thank you so much. So university industry collaboration journey can be considered a long and complex one. Prof. Berta already shared with us about the process, and it's a long process and it's a complex one. And this is the same manner as marketing services, especially for those characterized by high involvement and high contact oriented services. There's 3 types of university industry collaboration. One is research and innovation. Second is about career and recruitment, and also teaching-based collaboration. So those 3. So today we are focusing in research and innovation. So research and innovation. So therefore, this is university industry collaboration in research and innovation activities. This is already quite a broad topic. So then I would like to focus in this. So what is involved in this research and innovation? So sometimes it's about creating or developing a theoretical research, and also sometimes it's about commercial research. So practical innovation and marketable products. So in this type of collaboration, university generally provide human resources with research skills, so the researchers, and also from the industry, they contribute the necessary funding, but also to help the university researcher to understand the commercial part. So Kedai Reka, that is one of the government project that is created to serve these 2 roles. So one is from the researcher skills, but the other one is also to collaborate with the industry to be able to together create mutual benefit and also to get great impact. So then I'm talking further now is about role of brand and branding in UIC. What about it? Because Prof. Berta already shared how she built the personal brand to help her with finding partners, for example. And I'm thrilled with that, Prof. Berta. I think you did an excellent job. But many researchers and many university as well as industry leaders, they still have branding misconceptions. So traditional definition of a brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that distinguish one seller's good or service from those of other sellers. So when people talk about branding, immediately they thought about advertising or brand logo and tagline, how to design a great logo and create a catchy tagline or create a successful event. Apparently, these 3 activities are part of the branding activities, but branding itself has much more critical, fundamental definition. This is the brand definition. It's more philosophical. Brand signify the class the whole cluster of benefits you, researcher or industry partner, and your institution, which this one is about the university or the corporation, promise to deliver. So this is the philosophical definition of brand or branding, the whole cluster of benefits. So the keywords are benefits. This is about value for others. So value for the counterpart. So whether we already give value for others or whether the relationship is built upon the value. So this is the question about the branding activities that both parties are currently doing. Usually, this is unconsciously. So this is uncontrollable because thinking about branding, it's much more about exposure. But branding is about giving value, providing value. How far that you already push effort in giving value to others. UIC collaboration, there are 3 steps or stages. This is the same as marketing services. In services, it's always pre, during, and post. So we use these 3 stages to be able to understand the whole process or the journey of the UIC. So pre-collaboration, during collaboration, and post-collaboration. But if we are talking about branding, of course, this is so broad. So I would like to focus on the pre-collaboration stage, and probably sometime or maybe in the future, we can discuss further about during and post-collaboration. Prof. Berta already mentioned some aspects or factors that influence during and also post-collaboration, but I would like to talk much more in this pre-collaboration. Of course, in the pre-collaboration stage, there will be a perceived benefits of the collaboration itself. So it's a perceived quality or perceived image, and as well as the perceived benefits of the working relation with the contact point. And here, then comes the personal brand into perspective. When we're talking about the branding, so which brand that we are talking about? So the brand of the institution and the brand of personal as the contact point. Therefore, this UIC collaboration is quite complex because it involves managing multiple brands as well as multiple stages. So the actors involved in the UIC themselves, according to research, are the determining factor in the success of each stage, especially at stage 1. Remember, at stage 1, as Prof. Berta mentioned, probably start with very simple interaction, things like that. But that simple interaction as the gate can be successful, can be unsuccessful. So that's what we call moment of truth. So in moment of truth, the brand can get further, make or break, we call it. So make the brand or break the brand. So here we will see that the key person or the actors are so critical because during the collaboration, like pre-collaboration, initiate the idea of collaboration is very important. And we can see here that the key person in both sides will determine the success. A lot of studies discuss this, including the studies that Prof. Berta mentioned. There's a lot of barriers or challenges. There's a list, a lot. So I don't want to give the same list, but here's some that is relevant to the personal brand or university brand or the corporate brand. So lack of knowledge of the university capabilities, reluctant to collaborate with unfamiliar parties, assuming that university have different goals and cannot understand the needs of the industry. So these are the findings from studies, which is quite true. Prof. Berta mentioned also this, and I would like to highlight about potential collaborators do not know each other. Or here we can see that even they know, but they just know by name. They don't understand further about the competency, or even they know the competency are still in the surface. They don't know the broad understanding or the deep understanding about that specific competencies. Right, so personal brand of the actors involved has critical role, but personal brand, it's not only the personal, because the personal brand carry the university and corporate brand with them. This arrive the co-branding concept. When I mention I'm from Binus University, so it's not just about me. It's about me personally, Amalia Maulana, and Binus University. And as well as Ibu Prof. Berta from Universitas Gadjah Mada. So here we know that in this collaboration, there are more than one brand. During the pre-collaboration stage, so as I mentioned earlier, it's more about reluctancy to partner with unfamiliar parties. And, you know, if we only rely on the existing network, so the familiar parties, the options are limited. So therefore, as Prof. Berta mentioned, so we have to extend the network to build partnership, or at least knowing the potential partners broader than our own network. So here the keyword is unfamiliar, because lack of awareness of potential, and also the knowledge and lack of trust. One is reduce the familiarity barrier. Then one research, and also part of my research as well, usually the university will contact the alumni in the corporation, because the university alumni, even we don't know personally, but because they're coming from the same university, so there are some sort of familiarity. So this will speed up the process. And this is a common practice. Of course, this is recommended. However, in our study, in our research, there's some issue about degree of connectedness of the alumni. Because not all alumni open the door easily. Even this is coming from the same university, or this is from the alma mater. So our research, we create or invent the measurement to check the degree of connectedness. So there's a spectrum degree of connectedness. So we can check the degree of connectedness, and only the high connectedness alumni is the low hanging fruits. So if there's some reluctancy from alumni, according to our research, it's much more from the low degree of connectedness. This is the alumni connectedness model. So we found this model and it's published in the Journal of Marketing of Higher Education. And from here, we know that it's not only about sharing the same alma mater, but also there are several factors that influence the degree of connectedness. Right, so these are the homework of the university to build connectedness, start from the students, like, period. So become the past experience of students, because it's if there's already as an alumni, that's already past experience. So then we need to build from the day they interact with the university as students, and it's not the task of the alumni office only. So lecturers as contact point for students, that has some task also to build connectedness. Right, that is about the alumni connectedness. But second, how about contacting the industry, but there's no alumni? Because then we can reduce the trust barrier by building the personal brand of the contact point, both in the industry as well as in the university. So this put aside whether this is an alumni or not, but then the personal brand of that person as a contact point is critical. Then increase the possibility of collaboration. So building personal brand of the contact point. I want to talk more now about building a brand. So how strong is the university or corporate brand? Sometimes we just assume that our university has such a great brand, then we don't have some sort of audit whether the perception of the counterpart is exactly the same as our perception. And also, how about the contact point personal brand? Because we cannot assume that, oh, this is a great personal brand and must be, people has some sort of respect or some sort of reputation, because we need to do an audit about the strength of each brand to be able to understand the current situation. Where is the brand now in the perception of your audience? So that's why we need research to understand the brand situation. Because at Jeff Bezos, so CEO of Amazon.com, a brand is things people say about you when you are not in the room. A brand is not the things that you thought you have and giving value to others. It's more about the perception of others about the benefit that you provide. Right, so here it's mismatch. This is most of the time, I thought I already give this benefit. I thought I have this kind of expertise. I'm excellent in this topic. But how about the perception of others, their views? When there is a big gap between your views about yourself or the university brand also itself, here, the big gap, then we need to manage to close the gap. So your perception and the actual perception of others should be equal. How to build a strong co-brand? And that is important. Co-branding is one such strategy wherein two or more brands strategically partner. It is often seen as a win-win approach because all partner brands have a chance to portray their strength and imbibe to the strength of others. So we have a combined value. When people don't know me, but they know Venus University, so this combined brand will say something about the value offering. if they don't know about Venus University, but they know me as a branding expert, so I also can give value as a combined brand. There is the corporate contact point, is represent the corporation. University contact point represent the university. So here is sharing the collaboration ideas. It's between a person. So this person represent the institution brand. Key success factors in selling ideas according to general research. So 80% is the presenter of the idea, the credibility of that person. The idea's quality is probably 20%. So here we need to make sure that the credibility of the combined brand is that high, so then the idea presented is accepted or at least considered. Yes, so this is the co-branding, whether you are in the university or whether you are in the corporation. So then each of us, you want it or not, because this is not an option. If you work in an institution, you carry that institution brand with you. So co-branding in the corporation context, then this corporate contact point serves as representative of the corporation. And who are they? Can be the R&D person, can be from the human resource department, or from public relation. But here in the context of Kedairah or in the context of UIC research collaboration are those people who has some responsibility in research activities. But then sometimes the researcher or person in the corporation, they are not a marketing person. So then the way they see a collaboration, it's different than a marketing, selling product or services. So therefore, we need to help them to build their brand in order to carry later on the idea of the collaboration to the partner, in a university partner. Because in corporation until today, they are still thinking about only the leaders, only the CEOs or icon persons in the corporation that need to be branded. Apparently, each of the person who need to collaborate with others also need to be branded. Not just be branded, but that person should involve in the development of their own brand, with or without like full support from the organization. And as well, the situation is in the university context, the same thing, right? So how strong is the university brand? But again, how strong is the university contact point brand? Here we have researcher, we have lecturer, and we have leaders, and most of them are not marketing persons. I'm lucky because I'm a marketing person in the university. Not necessarily I'm marketing the university, but I teach marketing, so I practice marketing because that is the area of my expertise. But many lecturers or researchers are not marketing persons. But this is something that they can learn. And today, I also increase the awareness of some of you that probably are still thinking that not for me, this personal brand is much more to become popular or to become such of like a celebrity, and not. This personal branding is about to be selected as a partner, not just popular. Not important to be popular, but it is important to be selected. Who are going to select you if the people don't know you, people don't understand about your expertise, even never interact with you. So there's minimum interaction and they will have some sort of reluctance to contact you. But today's challenges, it's also not as easy as before because it's hyper competitive market. Like if I mention, okay, I'm expert in branding topic, it's not only me. There are hundreds of similar person who has similar expertise. So then stands out from the crowd. It's even harder today. And this is also in the global scope. It's not only in Indonesia, but we're talking about Asia or we are talking about the global. So then we are competing with many, many brands that offering the same expertise and especially talking to digital native as audience, it's not easy because they have some characteristics that they will also check on you. It's not just what that you talk, like the content of your social media, for example, but they will check or track you from all the interaction with others. Then your view sometimes is not the same as their view. So that's the challenge. Right, this is successful general co-branding examples. This is not researcher, this is a CEO, but you know there's two brands here, Jack Ma and Alibaba, and also Tony Fernandez with AirAsia. So these two brands, they are parallelly working in creating, building, maintaining a strong brand. So both brands combined become a great synergy. How about ourselves? So we have the task to create, build, maintain our brand alongside with our institution. So the misconception, as I mentioned, is not about popularity or advertising ourselves. No, it's about to provide the brand meaning and association. They need to understand who or what value that we offer, and the long run building relationship and trust. So personal branding is applied for anyone, including researcher in the university, as well as researcher in the industry or the key leaders in both institutions. So how about managing contact point? So managing contact point, we know that there's some problem with generation.
Mama?
Excuse me? Do we
Hello?
still have time,
Excuse me?
Pak Reza? Do we still have time, Pak Reza?
We will still have time, but please, for those who have unmute the sound, please please mute the sound. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, until what time, Pak Reza? Sorry.
Until 11:15. 30 minutes left.
Okay, but I don't have many slides, much more, but I want to extend the discussion about managing contact point.
Yes,
Okay.
that's okay, madam. Okay,
Right.
take your time.
Okay, managing contact point is the day-to-day activities because there's a misconception about branding. Branding is how you design your social media, how you design, let's say, exposure during the events. But it's much more than that because we have two types of communication. One is the direct interaction and the other one is indirect interaction. So indirect interaction, we can take time to create and design and probably think about the content of material or marketing communication. Say, for example, if the university want to highlight your expertise in their website, then you will probably take time to write the details about you coming from your CV, for example. And they will also invite you to make the best photo, right? And then that is what we call controllable exposure, because each of the exposure is being controlled. So then you want to make the best out of the exposure. But even this is controllable, but many universities and many corporations, they don't invest in these controllable exposures. If you want to check on some university websites or some corporation websites, even they're professional, but sometimes the websites are not clear. And this is what a waste, because this part, indirect interaction, it's some sort of like effort is based on your investment in time. Sometimes you probably will hire professional, it's like creative professional to help you with creating your best exposure. Not only about you, but about the co-brand. The co-brand between researchers or lecturers and the university, you can check in the website. Quality of the website will determine the commitment of the university in branding. If the university feel this is not that important, then you can see from the audience side, you can see that the information is minimum. Even you don't know how to contact this, like Prof. Berta mentioned, like there's also expectation to be contacted, right? But how if the university is not, website is not clear? Then people should take time and also try to call or contact others to be able to reach the researcher. And this is not effective at all. Investment in the indirect interaction should be made in order to get control exposure. Contemporary media, such as YouTube, Instagram, Twitter probably, that is also the one way exposure is controlled. But in this contemporary media, there's another angle, because that is not just indirect, but also direct interaction, because people can talk and expect feedback from the brand. If there's any questions to the university, how long they will get the response? During one of the research in university branding we made, we tested. We tried to send questions to several universities, but the response is so long, but some university even never respond. And that is an indication that managing contact point or managing or to become a responsive brand, that is not considered. So contemporary media, usually my advice to university is to involve millennials, in order to manage and to help the senior lecturers, how to Ibu Berta mentioned to frame, right? Or here we call it to package or to make some sort of exposure. So this is the help of the university assistant to help the lecturers. But also from the corporation point of view, the human resource department and the marketing department, these two departments should do together to help the leaders, not necessarily only the top leaders, but we are talking here about top leaders definitely, but middle manager and sometimes the junior managers, whoever has the potential as a contact point. So then the corporation also need to invest themselves in order to make a good presentation of their people. It's not only the task of the person, but also the institution job is also to help them. And that is the indirect interaction part. How about the direct interaction? Because the direct interaction sometimes is overlooked. Because of the misconception of branding is about advertising, then they neglect or even didn't realize that even direct interaction is more powerful to build the brand or to ruin the brand. It's not only to build, but also to ruin the brand. And that is scary because you can be brilliant indirectly, but if I meet you in person, if I interact with you in Zoom, today we have direct interaction, yeah, direct, indirect, but still this is direct interaction. So that moment of truth will give some sort of evidence. What sort of benefits, what sort of values that I can get from you? Because whenever the indirect interaction or, like the exposure are brilliant, that build expectation. Building expectation is easy, but value deliver or not? That is the question. Usually, promises undelivered. Promises delivered, you have a great moment of truth. Promises undelivered, they will think twice to interact with you again in the future. So here, the direct interaction, especially when researchers meet each other in a conference or in any other, say, event, maybe exhibition, things like that, because they probably know you from the social media or they know you from word of mouth from others. So that is all indirect interaction, building expectation. They will check whether they can satisfy or not meeting personally with you. That is something that I want you to start thinking and again also invest in the direct interaction. But the direct interaction probably 10 times more powerful than indirect interaction. Some people still hesitate to build a brand because they thought that if I build my personal brand, then this is not something that I'm comfortable with. Because you ask me, like they talk to me, like you ask me to become others because I need to present something like a great sides about my expertise that's maybe not me. And that is misconception. Strong brand is not necessary to be perfect, but strong brand is to be consistently deliver the promise. And each person has a different value to offer. So that's Prof. Berta already mentioned, uniqueness of the brand. And uniqueness of the brand, that is according to your strength. It's not the strength of others, no. So strong brand is not necessary because in the day-to-day activities, direct, indirect interaction, things go wrong, and that's normal. But stands out from the crowd, that is the objective of personal branding. And if you build relation with others, then your relationship is not only as just friends, but you will build the degree of relationship to become good friends. You will become good friends with your counterpart. If you are from the industry, you will build a relationship with your university partner and become good friends. And over time, become a soulmate. And in the soulmate positions, that is a brand asset. Because sometimes during collaboration, things go wrong. When things go wrong, it depending on the status of relationship. If the status of relationship is only just friends, then they will highlight your mistakes. But if the relationships already reached that soulmate position, they will probably mention about, yeah, people make mistakes. It's okay. We continue the relationship. We learn from our mistakes. So forgiveness is one benefit of personal brand, what I call it, stands out or cemerlang. Personal brand cemerlang or stand out, that will get the benefit because our soulmates will understand that sometimes a brand is not perfect. So stands out from the crowd. Okay, strong brand key success factors. Stay relevant. Understand the audience needs, and the needs are dynamic, especially now with the technology. So probably we understand our counterpart now, but maybe in few months or few years, they are already different, but here, stay relevant. Continue to check or audit the audience needs and be consistent. So if you want to promise about a certain benefit or certain value to offer, then stick to that promises, but try to deliver according to the expectation. And of course, in any branding, distinctiveness is important. Be authentic, genuine, and one of a kind. So life is short. Build a strong brand, said Kevin Keller, our marketing guru or branding guru. So as I want to close this sharing by asking to keep in touch, because I manage and maintain research collaboration in university branding and alumni management. And I would like today as a very good opportunity to have some sort of future collaboration with you all, or some of you. Thank you, Mas Reza. So that's all for my presentation.
Wow. Thank you so much, Professor Amalia. I learned a lot from that presentation. that is good. So we can highlight in here that collaborations actually has many benefits, but branding is important before we do the collaboration, because they need to know what is our uniqueness, and then ourselves. But in here, what I see is personal branding. Yeah, it's actually important here, because branding sometimes, yeah, people said branding is all about advertising, but it's more than that. Actually, personal branding, yeah, we build ourselves and trust to the others, and also we be a key person. Yeah, it's very important, because in a critical role, personal brand can carry our university or corporation. Yeah, we are the reflection of our institution. So when we build a brand of ourselves, we must consider that. And of course, extend your network, and we understand about co-branding. Yeah, collaboration in brand. Yeah, that is important things that we can do right now. But we should know what is the benefit and disadvantage, so we can collaborate easily. And the final is make value and trust to the others. Yeah, it's very good perspective, yeah, from Professor Amalia. Wow, thank you so much. Okay, now we are going to enter the question and answer session. So from those who raised the hand, the first, yeah, we want to see who raised the hands. Mr. Ad, I'm sorry, Mr. Adri. You raised your hands in Zoom. Mr. Adriandi. Oh, I guess no. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if there's any person who raised the hands. If not, we're going to the person who write the question in the chat. Okay. Okay. In the chat first. Yeah. First of all, it's from Oi Fukjin, yeah, from Indonesia. Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry.
Indah itu enaknya kalau misalnya kita udah tua nih, udah mau pensiun.
Alright, we goes to the first question. Is Oi Fukjin Indonesia? From Indonesia. The collaboration is normally easy for reputable institution. It means Unggul or public university. Can you share how the small universities can start their collaboration with reputable universities? Thank you. Maybe Professor Berta first, and then Professor Amalia can answer the questions.
Yes, thank you, Pak Kailani. It's very interesting questions. I personally agree that yes, for small university, maybe it's a bit challenging to build the collaboration, but it doesn't mean it is impossible. Because I think based on my personal experience, it's not only the institution branding, but the most important things that the personal brand, and I also learned from Prof. Amalia that the personal brand of the contact point, it is the most important. I think that's the main point, because if you already in the public unit, and for example, like in the how to say high rank university, but you did not perform your own, or you don't have your own brand, so it doesn't mean anything. So I think the most important things for now, for those who are in the small universities, first you need to build your personal branding first, and then you could start to work with other universities that has like we see like a high ranking university. That's actually my vision and mission research projects, that now I want to help the small universities to gain the acknowledgement, or to gain or to build the brand for their own, so that they can afterwards, after I and work with the researchers from the small universities, eventually they can build their own branding. So don't feel small. I think it's not only about the institution, but also the your own personal branding. If I also have experience when I was when abroad, not all the universities knows that Universitas Gadjah Mada is the best, one of the best university in Indonesia. I was kind of surprised at that time. I was kind of surprised. Oh, Universitas Gadjah Mada is not well recognized by university abroad. Even though until now, when we are start to collaborate, to partners, to build a partnership with the university abroad, they usually ask us, how is the ranking of University Gadjah Mada? That means that they don't know yet about Universitas Gadjah Mada. And at the same time, it means that the small university, it doesn't mean that you are not recognized. Some university has been recognized by the abroad university because of they have already established the collaboration with the researchers in that university. So yeah, my main point is that institution branding is not the only brand that you need to build. I think you also needs to build your personal brand. I think Amalia will help me to discuss more further about the co-branding between the personal brand and also the institutional brand. But for my perspective, the personal brand, I think it's the most, for now, it's like the thing that you are in control to build it. So you have the authority to build your own personal brand first. Because when you have an institutional brand, it doesn't mean it doesn't guarantee that you also have the personal brand. So the personal brand needs to be built by your own. So I think that's my opinions. I hand it over to Prof. Amalia. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. Berta. I agree with you totally. Just to add some more perspective, is about this is another misconception about reputation goes with the size of the university or size of corporation, because sometimes it's not about size, but it's about whether you deliver the promises or not. Because I have the same question when I talk about personal brand or co-branding between medical doctors and the hospitals. That's like 2 weeks ago, I met them, and the same question here, like, what about me that working in the small hospital? It's the same thing, right? It's not about small or big, but whether you make a commitment to your audience. And small hospital here, small university or small corporation even, that can be like, like shiny, like the brand is shiny because each interaction is successful. Promises delivered, building expectation delivered. But sometimes, because they don't invest in the branding activities, so it's not because of the size, but to me, it's the whether low or high investment in building the brand in terms of showing their competencies and keep the promises delivered, and people can read about past experience of others, like probably small interaction, but people can read it, and it's about the story of the university that is important, right? Universitas Gadjah Mada definitely here in Indonesia people know and the reputation is kind of like already there. But smaller university can tell stories about what is so great about this university. And from the stories, I think the branding is about telling stories. So again, same as Prof. Berta, don't worry about small or big, but worry about whether promises delivered or not. Because if it's not delivered, it's already negative perceptions and it's hard. It's even harder rather than building if it's already negative. And I think that is our challenge. Okay, that's from me.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Berta and Prof. Amalia. We goes to the next question. Maybe Mr. Reza Mahdi can
Yes.
guide us again after technical problem.
I'm sorry before it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer, Professor Berta and Professor Amalia. Yeah, it's maybe it's about build a reputation here. I'm sorry because technical problems make me kick from Zoom. Okay, the question, the next question, it's from Mr. Prasetya, from Indonesia. Yeah. First of all, thank you for the inspiring experience and knowledge. I would like to ask, in the business industries, what kind of method, in a realistic way, to show or present our brand to all people, and from the first time they knew or heard our brand, they directly likes our brand and curious more about our brand. How to maintain our brand that can easily remember from everyone. Oh, yeah. So it's all about how to be easily perceived by the others, our brand. Thank you so much. Your time, Professor Amalia or Professor Berta first.
I think the question fits to Prof. Amalia.
Oh, yes. This very fits to Professor Amalia as a branding expert.
Nice try,
Yes.
Berta.
Nice try.
Anyway, okay, so I will start first and then maybe Prof. Berta will extend the answer. Right, interesting because business industry, what kind of method and a realistic way to show or present. I think there's one slide from my presentation is about managing contact point, and there's two types, direct and indirect interaction. What I highlight in my presentation is sometimes we don't control the controlled media, because the content of our website, for example, we just take it easy, like not updated. This is also talking about me later, because I also have difficulty to find time, say, to update my LinkedIn, for example. But if you are in the big corporation, not only big, but in the professional corporation or professional university, so then you can ask professional to help. You have agencies, for example. I'm not talking about the expensive counterpart, but I think the professional person in creative, they will help you in terms of telling stories. Remember, there's so many brands in the world, but who tell the good stories? So there it's the kind of method that is in the indirect part. But what about the direct part? The direct part is our day-to-day interaction. Each of employee, or say in the university as well, each of member of the university that represent the brand. But if they do not understand that each time they expose the university brand, then they will do whatever they like. But here need to have some sort of awareness of the importance of co-branding. So then the corporation or university manage their brand as well as each member. Okay, so that is what I mean is our day-to-day job, our day-to-day life. But now our day-to-day life guarded by a corridor of the brand. So this is the job of a corporate communication director in a corporation or in the university. I'm not sure the division, but probably the human resources director of the university that can guard or guide in a certain corridor. So mirror to the promises of the university or the corporation. Yeah, that's my point of view. Prof. Berta?
Yeah, I think, I need to make some disclaimer because I don't know anything about the business industries. I'm not the expert of business industries, but I would like to share about the academic industry. So, to make people easy or to make people understand your brand and just to sustain your brand, I think I would like to get some view from Prof. Amalia. I think which is very relevant to academic industries. That first you need to be relevant because everyone will remember you. That you have the specific expertise that they need. They will keep in their mind that they always remember that you have the expertise that they need. That's the first time and the first things. And then the second one is that you need to be consistent. For example, like if you already claim that the supply chain, for example, supply chain engineering is your expertise, then you have to build the commitment to deliver your values or your expertise in terms of maybe you publish or maybe you do some presentation or seminar or share in the seminar or the conference within that area. That makes people remember you that, oh yeah, this ladies is in this expertise and they are continuing developing that expertise. So people, if you are consistent, people will also very easy to remember you over time. So I think that's all I would like to share from my perspective. Thank you. Very interesting questions.
Well, thank you so much for the answer. Okay, we're going to the next question. It comes from Mr. Benedict Legason from Philippines, and then it's all about AI. About the developing AI in the scope of journalism, where AI reporters will be potentially used. What insight can be drawn to address cultural barriers when implementing AI-driven support system for logistic transportation, particularly in times of disaster response? How can lessons from journalism's AI integration be applied to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of logistics support system during critical moments within culturally diverse and global contexts? Okay, it is all about AI, maybe in the scope of journalism. Thank you so much.
But I think this is more for Prof. Berta, I believe.
Yeah, I believe this is from Prof. Berta, because it's all about connected to more maybe university or some kind of research.
This question is very specific regarding the AI, but I myself haven't worked in the AI, but I would like to share maybe the similar technology. We already now in the progress to understand using drone technology to help for the streamlining the logistic and the transportation for disaster operations. I think the drone and also AI has the same goals, that we use that technology to streamline the operations, either for delivering the products or sending the aids for the victims, and also then to try to minimize the fatalities. So here, I would like to share the result, just a small result that we got. indeed, that the cultural differences is one of the key factors for the technology adoption. I think it's also applies for the AI, because AI it's a new technology that not so many people understand the technology, and not so many people knows it, and then it will affect on the how they perceive the risk of using it. And then afterwards, because we are now in the countries which has I would say a solid social capital, so means that the influence of the social networks is very significant. So for you that has been working as a journalism, I think your role is very significant also, to how to say, to distribute or to help people to understand the technology, and also to understand the benefits of the technology, and to understand the actual risk. Sometimes because if the perceived risk is not really representing the actual risk that has been implemented in the actual systems. So I think your role is very important um, to deal with the lack of the knowledge, and also diverse perception on the risk of the technology, and also then afterwards you can work to the intervention, how to guide or to direct the people to into the, I would say, like the appropriate behavior, how to use the technology for example, this one is for the logistic and transportation for disaster operations. Yeah, that's all actually I would like to talk more, but I think yeah, it's not well, I don't have much time to share all the result to you, but I just want to pick the main how to say, the main challenge that we have found of using new technology in our communities. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Professor Bertha, thank you so much for the answer. Okay, maybe it's all about we can drive our people here, managing the people. Then we understand our role and the diverse perception of the technology, and finally we can drive the people to use the technology wisely. I think it's that. Okay, other question from Philippines too. Wow. Mrs. Tessie, Mrs. Tessie from Rizal Technological University. Wow, I've been to Philippines before, yeah, 2 weeks ago, so it's nice to see you here, Philippine participant in here. I I came to Rizal Library 2 weeks ago, and thank you so much. Yeah, good morning to all. Thanks for the both speakers for such very informative and meaningful sharing. About the questions, so many barriers of circumstances, events, and others that will affect the established brand of an institution. Also, the efforts have been exerted to maintain established brand. What is the most effective way to sustain an established brand and continuously nourish it and utilize it to strengthen more collaboration with partners, despite all the odds around which are resistant, uncontrollable, and unwelcome. So thanks and God bless always. So it's about the way to sustain an established brand, continuously. I think this question is more fit to Professor Amalia, yeah? And if Prof. Berta want to share your perspective, that's okay. Take your time.
Yeah. Interesting question, Dr. Tessie Ong from Rizal Technological University. I think this is very true. I think many people said that it's easy to build, but it's hard to maintain. That is also, your question is about what is the most effective way to sustain an established brand and continuously nourish it, right? And utilize it to strengthen more collaboration. Because remember, my presentation, I have a slide about 3 stages. Remember? So stage 1 is the pre-collaboration. Second is during collaboration. And third is post-collaboration. The same in the services marketing, like in services, I think that is quite complex because it's not just like one interaction, that's all. As in a product interaction is simple, but in services, then there's 3 stages. So here, I think to be able to understand how strong is your brand, I think inevitably we need to do research. So brand audit, because this is not based on our assumption. People assume I have this sort of brand strength, but that is just an assumption. To be able to sustain a big corporation, say for example, like Unilever, because I worked with Unilever before. I work also with Frisian Flag and Reckitt Benckiser. So they invest in brand audit. So brand audit or understanding the position of a brand in the audience perception, that is an investment. And periodically, so from time to time, then those feedback is used as an insight to guide us to improve factors in the journeys that is not accepted. Because in services, it's multiple point, multiple interaction. Whenever we understand which part of our journey that is not optimal, so that brand audit report will help us to design the activities for the future to be able to reach the destination. And we can see there's a brand that's already more than 100 years, right? In CNN, I think there's a series in CNN, tribute to strong brand over 100 years. You can see there that they are so serious about building a brand. Here, even this is a smaller scope, but we need to do an audit, a brand audit. I hope this helped you. Thank you. Roberta?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the brand, but I would like to share how to maintain the collaborations, not about the brand. So as I mentioned earlier, to maintain the collaboration, you could start with the very simple one, like just send the greetings, and also like, yeah, you could also attend the conference, the seminar that that you know that the partners will also attend to, just to greet them, just to meet them. So it's very, even though it's very simple, but it's very effective to based on my experience. And the second times that it's also necessary. I think I'm impressed with the Prof. Amalia has mentioned that when you do the collaboration, you need to make it as a soulmate. You make your partners as a soulmate, because once you reach that, I like this soulmate terms, because yeah, I already experienced that. When you have a partners and your partners is at the level of a soulmate, I believe that the collaboration will continue, because then it means that you already share the common goals, and you know, you understand your norms, and you have minimized all the differences, and the thing that you have already built the trust. That's the most important things to make the collaborations continuous. That's all I have. I hope that that helps. Thank you.
Yay, thank you so much, yeah, for all the answers about actually about brand, yeah. and Professor Bertha too, yeah, Professor Amalia and Professor Bertha for give the perspective, yeah. Because each speaker in here has her own perspective that when we combine it, yeah, that will be good. Actually, I learned a lot in here. So because same as Prof. Bertha, maybe I don't know anything about brand because I'm not expertise in that. I guess we can learn a lot in here. So is there any question here? Wait. Excuse me. Is there any questions left? The committee. Okay, maybe if there is a person who want to raise the hand, maybe want to open your microphone for the question. It is the time. Wait, I will see who's who will. I guess okay then if there is wait okay sorry before. So there is another question here from okay. Okay. Okay, there is other question, yeah. Okay. So from Mrs. Fitriadi from Indonesia. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Fitriadi. Is there any specific strategy that universities and industry can do to maximize the potential of research collaboration by leveraging the university's reputation? Okay, maybe from Professor Bertha first. Your time, Professor.
Okay, I suspect that Fitriadi is from somewhere in the North Sumatra because I think I recognize the name, but I don't know. Okay, the question is how to maximize the potential research. If I would say to also to increase the reputation of university. I believe that, and I agree with Prof. Amalia that has mentioned it before, that building the reputation is a process. It's not a short-term process, but it's more on the longer term process. So it means that the collaboration between the university and the industries is one of the ways. Other ways, there are many other potential ways to build the reputations. So in order that this collaboration would also give an impact to the university reputation, it means that the collaboration should be maintained and provides the impacts not only for the partners, but also for the universities. And I think for my perspective, the research would be beneficial if it can have an influence or have an impact to our society, because our responsibility is not only doing the good research, but also how our research can also benefit to our communities. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Bertha. Professor Amalia, please, maybe you have your perspective about the question.
Yeah, it's interesting question. It's also a practical question. Yeah, because the difference between corporation and universities, in corporation, usually they invest in marketing. Universities, sometimes they just do a minimum effort in terms of marketing the brand, but from today, understanding about building a brand, I think building a brand is not only like have or maintain a good website. No, but like expertise. And we need professional in marketing to help, especially in the universities. I think in a corporation, I believe they already has corporate communication director who say, for example, if I ask them, like, you need to build the co-branding strategy. So this sort of like, you know, they have the capability to do that. But I think in the universities, they're still focusing on the technical collaboration, things like that, but forget the marketing side. So having a division, not just we call it like public relation, but branding division, because that is part of the investment in the corporation. They have brand managers. In university, they don't have brand managers. So brand management capabilities, if they invest in the brand, will be more structured. So that is a practical tips from me, is mirror the corporation strategy in branding, and then they can shine, and then people in the world can see them. Okay, so that's from my practical tip. Yeah, hire the brand manager.
Okay, the brand. Okay, hire the brand manager. I think, yeah, it's the important thing here. When we have an institution or organization, we need to brand it, and we need experts. That's insightful, actually, yeah, from Professor Berta and Professor Amalia. Okay, maybe we're going to enter the last question. I'm sorry, there is one who raised the hand. Okay. This is the last question from Mr. Sani Abdullah Sule. Okay, Mr. Sani.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please introduce yourself. Mr.
Yes,
Sani.
my name is Sani Abdullah Sule. I'm a student in University St. Bilas Marat, ONS.
Oh, ONS.
I'm
Solo.
from Nigeria, yeah. So thank you very much for the introduction and the good presentation. What I like to ask and also I like to contribute, it is about the issues of collaboration with Africa. I found that this great university need to upgrade the collaboration with African in terms of research and some other activities. So I do hope the university will try possibly to make more collaboration with the African continent so that more collaboration will take on in this great university. Thank you very much.
Okay, Professor Berta.
Yes, thank you very much, Pak Sani. It's a very great over. I just give some information that our government through we call it AIDS scholarship, I think started next year, will provide will over the scholarship for the into the African continent to continue the study in the University of universities in Indonesia. So I think it's a good start. The way that we have facilitation to start with the collaboration between Indonesia and also African countries, because for now I think we have a limited access to the African universities, but I hope that using some scholarship schemes, it will help to start at least like when we have a student from Africa, like you are now studying in the 11 Maret University, then it can start like, okay, we can start with some research projects for the study, but then when you finish your study, then we can continue to the research projects, which can be funded by Indonesian or both Indonesian and African government or companies, or with the funder of the research projects. Thank you very much for raising this up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Berta. Professor Amalia, maybe you can share your perspective.
Sorry, Reza, can you repeat the question because
Okay.
I have problem with connection?
Yeah, actually, me too.
Pak Sani mentioned.
Mr.
So
Sani,
what is the question all about? Like that addressed to me?
it's all about building collaboration between an African student, Mr. Sani,
I think that's more to Prof. Berta, probably. Yeah. Maybe I cannot give some sort of perspective on that. But anything else, Prof. Sani, Dr. Sani, that you want to ask me related to the branding or co-branding?
Yeah, actually, thank you very much, Prof, for giving me this opportunity. What I was saying that the collaboration with the African universities and the others brand and the so many research activities, it is very important that this great university and the others university in Indonesia to collaborate with Africa, so that we can get a more research and the more collaboration among African countries and the Indonesia in general. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think interestingly, when I mentioned about co-branding, we're still focusing on within the university and corporation, right? But here, there's more than that. That is between countries. Like if between countries, then the country image or country brand is also affected, right? Because if we mention about Indonesian universities and suddenly there are some certain or retained perceptions, like how about the past experience dealing with Indonesian universities, like here, as well as say African universities, then we need to do more understanding about country image to be able to also make some sort of booster, because here some will become the trigger, but some image will become a barrier. So when we know there are some barriers, we need to dig the issues and try to improve. And this also the task of the government. So the government and the universities need to sit down and also to do some sort of research to understand the issues, and in the future will make some kind of improvement. I hope this helped, Pak Sani.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your explanation, because I was very happy to see that this great university has a mind of collaboration with others entities or others universities. So it is important that I see this great university should improve more collaboration with Africans, because they will benefit a lot. Also, Africa will benefit a lot from the collaboration. Thank you very much for your kind and your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much for the questions from Mr. Sani and all of the participants in here. And thank you so much for the answer from Professor Berta and Professor Amalia. It's a very good answer. So actually, we got a lot of learn today. We got a lot to learn today from the both presentation and question and answer. So it's all about how we can collaborate between our university and industry, because the trends seems to be dramatically increased from year to year, and we can build a new competency to solve the problem. So we should know the common cause actually. Actually, there are several barriers and enablers, and we see that as a challenge and try to find the common cause. We see the culture of both university and industry, and start from informal communication. We can make a collaboration together. But most important, we brand ourselves, our university, our industry, but personal branding is one more important, and it's important in here, because what we are is reflect on our institution. So we build a value and trust to the others. It will reduce the trust barrier and familiarity barriers. And don't forget, for university, we get to contact the university alumni and the corporation, and of course, build the personal brand, the contact point. It will increase the possibility of collaboration. And then Jeff Bezos said that the perception is what will the others say about you when you are not in the room. The others' perception. So I think this is all the lesson learned today. Thank you so much, Professor Amalia. And thank you so much, Roberta. Maybe we would like to have Professor Amalia and Prof. Berta to give the closing statement. Maybe from Prof. Amalia first.
Okay. And in my last slide, I said, life is short, right? Life is short. Build a strong brand. So why wait, right? Why wait? So start as quick as possible. So see you at the top.
Nice closure. Yeah, for me, it's like collaboration is a must. We cannot work together. We cannot work alone. We need other people to work together, particularly when now the problem becomes complex. Collaboration is not easy, but it's not something that is impossible to do. It's still that we can't find the effective or the right strategy to build and also maintain the collaborations. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for being in here. So we learned a lot of things today, and thank you so much for Professor Amalia and Professor Berta. So from me, I will give you maybe a surprise for you before I give it to the MC. Thank you so much for being here. And my name is Reza Mahdi. I'm going to, maybe we can meet again in the other time. Thank you so much. I'll see you again in the next time. Thank you. Over
Thank you.
time, I have built in my castle of love, just for two. You never knew you were my reason. I've got much too far for you now to say that I've got to throw my castles away over dreams might have become the perfect come true. Ooh, to your name, burning was of you. I've been dreaming. The Sandman has come too far away for you to say, come back some other day. And so you don't believe that they do come true. For did my dreams come true when I look at you? And maybe too, if you will believe you too might be overjoyed, over love, over you. Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. So I will give this event to the moderator, Mr. Khailani. The time is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Reza Mahdi, for guiding us from beginning until now and the surprise song. Thank you so much. Okay, now, dear all participants, ladies and gentlemen who still join us until the last minute, now I would like to inform you the door prize winner. Okay, the committee will show the list of the door prize winner. There are five winner. One, Mr. Benedict Legason from the Philippines, Dr. Tezi Ji Ong of Rizal Technology University of the Philippines, Oi Fuk Jin from Indonesia, Prastisha, Indonesia, Sani Abdullah Sule, Indonesia. The winner will be contacted by the committee, and the door prize winner will get book, membership library, and merchandise from UGM Jakarta. Thank you so much. Before we leave this event, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow our social media, Instagram at ugm.jakarta and YouTube channel UGM Campus Jakarta. I am your MC and representing the speakers, moderator, and committee would like to apologize if there are words that offend you all, and please take any good side from us and leave the bad behind. Because the truth comes from the God, the Almighty, and mistake come from me as an ordinary human being. From this webinar, I hope all of you can break all the existing limitations through the digital transformation with technology that can unite the values of innovation and humanity in harmony. Me, Khailani, see you again at our next event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pamit ya.
Silakan Prof. Amalia. Thank you so much, Prof. Amalia, for the time.